national organizers and local organizers from the states where these GOP senators are. I'll be taking a group of women who are flying in from Nebraska today to go talk to Senator Deb Fischer. We'll be talking to Senator Collins and Senator Ernst and all the GOP women senators. So it should be a really important day. Survivors are going to be telling their stories, and we're going to be continuing to do what we can to fight and tell the truth about what's going on here in the nomination process. So let's have some chats with some folks that are here in the atrium, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what's at stake.
Okay, thank you so much, Heidi.
Thank you. So here we've got a group of organizers that are starting to tell their stories. We've got Alyssa Milano and Adi Barkin, and the Women's March organizers are here. And let's go hear what they're talking about. This is the live stream to the world through act.tv. Move on. This is Alyssa Milano, and she's here at the Hart Senate.
Yeah, we're going to be meeting with senators and telling our stories with hopes that they will vote no and do the right thing on Kavanaugh. And I'm very excited and honored to be here, representing female survivors everywhere.
And you're going to be with us all week, yeah?
Yes, I'm going to the hearing tomorrow, and then I'll be back here tomorrow night, and I leave on Friday.
And if you had one thing you would like to say to make sure everyone knows what's at stake and what they should be doing, what would that be?
I mean, everything I think is at stake with Kavanaugh right now, and I think that that's why you see so many Republicans fighting so hard for a nominee that doesn't deserve to be fought hard for. I think when you look at the Supreme Court and the fact that with Kavanaugh's appointment, that they will have, their ideology will be in the majority. So that means everything will be rolled back, anti-LGBTQ, anti-freedom of choice, anti-immigration, anti-environment. The only thing that Kavanaugh has actually proven to be for is guns. And we know that because the NRA has put millions of dollars into the backing of Kavanaugh. So this is really a turning point for our country. It's a turning point for humanity, and I'm extremely honored to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the women that are going to be meeting with senators today are wearing sashes that say "Believe Women." Sashes are an interesting thing. They're reminiscent of the suffragist movement, and they're just giving a message for making sure that these senators are thinking about the survivors of all the assaults that have been happening. And I'm sure that all of the women in America can relate to the stories of some of these survivors. I really don't know many people who don't have a story. Isn't that right, Jocelyn?
Yeah, unfortunately that is true. I mean, I think all of us watching this, even if you're just watching it play out on social media, it's horrifying to see the Why Didn't Report stories, the Me Too stories. At a certain level, this isn't just about Dr. Blasey Ford. It's about the fact that rape and sexual harassment has been used as a structural political vector to keep women from owning their place in politics and their place in the workforce, and we're sick of it.
That's right. So let's go check in with Adi Barkin, who's just amazing. He's here today.
I saw you in the doctor. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm Heidi. And this is the team from act.tv, our friends from Occupy Wall Street and act.tv. We just wanted to say thank you for being here. And if you have just a little energy, we'd like to have you say hi to our watchers.
Hey everyone, I'm here in the Senate office building, trying to save Lady Margaret. So thank you for watching. Thank you for
Thank you so much, Ed. We are trying to save our democracy. Take me with me.
So, we are, aren't we?
Yeah. So we're going to be walking off to the Senate offices now to go tell these GOP senators what's at stake.
Yeah, and as all of our viewers know, people have been engaging in civil disobedience over the Kavanaugh confirmation for the past 2 weeks in really impressive, large-scale ways. On Monday, we had 1,000 people in the Senate office buildings, including Yale alums, Yale Law School, saying, "This isn't who we want representing us, not our school or our country."
Oh, yeah, I took a seat. Yeah, they made a mistake. That's why
So
it's not because we took first.
Probably better.
He does that. Yeah, I just texted him.
stairs. Get us up the stairs.
Okay. All right. So we're going to Susan Collins' office, or Murkowski's office. My bad. Both of these senators have been on the fence about this vote, and everybody here has been heroically putting a lot of energy into talking to these women and saying, hey, this isn't somebody you want to vote for, not as a woman in
Control.
So let's see if they're happy to see us. Do you think they will be, Heidi? And so, like many other days, you're seeing floods of people are about to enter this office to what are hopefully a group of cheerful staffers and interns that just can't wait to hear what we have to say. But I think a lot of the people here who have called out work, a lot of people have flown into DC for this purpose, know that this Supreme Court nomination is too important. This isn't somebody we can just vote out the next cycle. If this alleged rapist is sitting on the Supreme Court, he'll be there for decades to come. And I don't really think that's the type of person that should be making decisions about women's reproductive health or really anything else.
Two judges with clouds over their heads.
So they're heading into Murkowski's office and going to tell her again what's at stake. And here we also have Tracy with Be a Hero. It's Tracy's birthday today. So why are you here celebrating your birthday? About to do some expressing yourself here in the Hart Senate office building.
This I think is a time that we have to show up. I've been saying it since we've been doing this that when I was young, Anita Hill happened. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what I could do. And this is our Anita Hill moment. And so there's nowhere else we could be. But it's our duty to be here and stopping this because this is something that can impact our lives for the rest of the generation. This is for my niece, and this is for my sisters and my cousins and the women I love and also the men I love. So, I can't imagine being anywhere else.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Can anyone who's watching, can you wish Tracy a very happy birthday? And what's your birthday wish for today?
To cancel Kavanaugh.
Yeah,
That's all I
agree.
really want for my birthday.
I agree. And are we still giving to Be a Hero, the Be a Hero campaign?
We are.
Yes.
Murkowski, I believe that's up Senator Murkowski. Susan Collins, there is a crowd pack, but if she votes yes on Kavanaugh, we will give her opponent, I think it's up to $1.5 million. So it's actually now more than the cash she has on hand. So the new goal is $2 million. Because
we can totally get
there.
there.
Yeah, we can get there. And so it's important. So visit beaherofund.com and give to that crowd pack. And we're going to cancel Kavanaugh.
Yeah. And do that in honor of Tracy's birthday today.
Yeah. That would be a great birthday gift.
Wouldn't it?
That and lipstick. It's like,
That's right. We'll have to tweet at Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez today and tell her to send lipstick.
Yes. That's a very Tracy tweet. Send lipstick. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
This is so important.
It's so important.
Women talking to women is,
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Let's go see what they're up to.
She stopped 3 times and was like, this is dangerous for so many of you. What do you do? Get there? I could have found this. Really? Not happy.
Figure out what's going on in there.
So again, we're at Senator Murkowski's office from Alaska. She's an uncertain vote on the Kavanaugh nomination. And it looks like a lot of our friends are already here, which is good. It's good to participate in democracy. One of the many privileges of being American, or increasingly dwindling, is that we can just go talk to our representatives whenever we want. So that's what we're doing.
Let's see what she said. Right.
Audie, do you want to be in the Celeste? As well as, where don't you stay close? I am. Celeste, actually. Let's try it again. She is from the door sign in the shot. Celeste, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Celeste. Here, I don't know. Can we get Audie in here? She's Audie? Okay. Come in, Audie.
How to get through?
Sorry. You guys.
So what you're seeing right now is women talking to women outside of Murkowski's office. These are women telling their stories, their survivor stories, to one of the staffers at Senator Murkowski's office, including Audie Barker.
Turn it on. Turn on the amplifier so you can hear it.
you all have heard that she said that the allegations do need to be taken seriously. So she, as well as I imagine you all will be following the hearing very closely tomorrow, where Dr. Ford and Judge Kavanaugh will have an opportunity to so she has said that the Judiciary Committee has been following up with the investigation, or with the allegations through investigated. I don't know if that has really been out there so much in the public. But it's an investigator with through the committee. And the senator said it's important to note that if the FBI further investigates, there would be a continuation of the background check.
So she would have.
She has not communicated with us. She's not.
We're setting precedent of what fair process is.
I think people are trying to get out of the process. So yeah, can we make sure they can have it?
Hi, good morning.
Another thing that's really important is to be able to hear their experts in sexual assault and to really understand the cultural context in which this is taking place. So when you Senator Murkowski to call for external assistance, the hallmarks of what cross-training looks like and why this does not mean this matters.
So we have a representative from Murkowski's office that's come out to speak with the women, survivors, and activists who are here sharing their stories. And it sounds like she'll be taking notes and bringing those stories back to Senator Murkowski.
And I want to personally thank her. She's finished.
Thank you all. Appreciate your advocacy so much.
What did Senator, this is act.tv live streaming, what did Senator Heitkamp say? Or their staff?
They said that they would relay all of our messages. They reminded us that she had said that she believed that the allegation should be heard, and we asked whether or not that meant she would help support the idea of calling for an FBI investigation. They referred to the investigation that is going on now, which I believe is being conducted by a staffer for Senator Grassley.
Yeah, I like that eye roll there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of reiterated that, it needs to be an impartial investigator. We should be having the senators hear from experts in sexual assault, PTSD following sexual assault, what false rape claims look like, and emphasizing that this does not look like a false or sound like a false rape claim. The staffers were wonderful. They indicated that they would pass those messages along. Hugs were shared.
That's good.
One woman said that the office manager is the first person that she had told her story to after 40 years, and that she really appreciated the staffer listening, and those two women had a hug. So, yeah, the office manager called it a gift of being offered that story as the first person to hear it. So, yeah. I reminded them we all have our stories, and most of us here are survivors, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you. Where are you coming from?
Ohio.
You're coming from Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh,
Columbus area.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, sure.
So we're going to go off to is that right? We're on stop number 2 of our GOP Women's Senator Tour. And then getting ready to go visit Susan Collins. So
she's heard so much from us lately.
She has heard a lot from us, and we should tell her more.
No, we're not.
Oh, this is Hyde Smith is next, and then we will go to Susan Collins. Okay. So these stories are universal. They're what everyone has experienced, like we said before. But here's the broader picture, which I think is important to keep in mind. The Senate Republicans are bound and determined to get this nomination finished and confirmed. In fact, the Senate Republicans are planning to try to confirm Brett Kavanaugh by this weekend. So that's what we're hearing. So this is anything that we're seeing on the news media or online and we think is outrageous or makes no sense, is we have to remember that it's serving this very broader mission, which is to get this nominee confirmed no matter what. This has been a 40-year trajectory of the Republican structure, and they're almost there. They're able to get this guy, their operative, on the Supreme Court and be able to affect policy for generations to come. So that's why everything seems really crazy. And they don't care what we say, and they don't care what happened to women. They don't care. So that's why it's like, of course they need to believe women. So we have to remember that. We'll talk more about this in a minute.
Across the Jersey, right?
I'm going to get arrested too. Are you getting arrested?
Why don't we cross this?
Oh, I can't.
Fourth floor, Dirkson's right there.
Where am I going? Up. Well,
Why is everybody going that way?
what?
Why are you going that way? The number.
Alright, hold on, I just want to see. I thought we were going to Christmas office.
That's where I was told to send everybody.
Alright. So, we're going to Senator Highsmith's office right now. Really, this practice of women telling their stories has become kind of emblematic of these past couple weeks of actions. And it's a very powerful and different thing because, again, a lot of these senators are women. Not nearly enough, but definitely to an extent where this idea that a complete stranger removed from the political process would come up with false rape allegations is psychologically absurd. And at some level we all know that. But the GOP continues to... We're looking for Dirksen?
Going first floor, Dirkson.
So we keep going down this way? Okay. These office buildings are so confusing. Okay, so we're coming up on the Women's March organizers. Again, we're in Senator Highsmith's office. Senator Murkowski may actually be a no. There's been some hope around that, and that's the office we just left of Alaska. Planned Parenthood actually has a tremendous amount of organizing clout in Alaska because women rely on their services. So a vote yes on a man who is likely going to undermine Roe, is likely a serial assaulter of women, is not something that any Alaskan wants or any American wants, regardless of partisan affiliation. I think if this man gets confirmed, it will have undermined the entire point of the Supreme Court to serve as an objective body to Congress and the executive branch, which otherwise are prone to very partisan sways and fluctuations of public opinion. As you can see, we have a lot of people, and it looks like we might be risking arrest. So to anyone at home who wants to get involved, tomorrow is the day that Dr. Blasey Ford will be speaking and testifying to the Judicial Committee. Tomorrow there will be a lot going on. If you're near DC, if you're able to get to DC, tomorrow morning is the day to do it and show our support for women everywhere, specifically Dr. Blasey Ford, who really made herself incredibly socially vulnerable in a huge way to do this for us and tell us the truth about this community.
Hi. Okay, so I would like to introduce you to Kelly Titus, who flew in last minute with less than 24 hours warning from my home state of Nebraska. Kelly, can you introduce yourself to the act.tv audience and tell us who you are and why you came?
Kelly Titus from Omaha, Nebraska. I came because this is disturbing and important. I came to ask Deb Fisher, our female senator from Nebraska, to please not vote for him. I came here because I didn't want to feel helpless.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got, I think 12 women that jumped on planes this morning to come and talk to Senator Fisher. So they're coming from all over the country. That's what they know. Everybody knows what's at stake. Yes. They really do. They truly do. And you do too. So.
And we don't have much access to our senators in Nebraska. They don't talk to us much, and so the only way to get access to them is here.
Oh, great! So we're gonna get to tell them some stories.
Yes,
let's go. Thank you so much. So let's go see what stories they're telling to. What is this? Who is this one? Hi Smith. Senator Hi Smith.
As a small aside, I do think that comment about us not having the access we should have to our representatives is important. A big part of this whole Kavanaugh thing is money. This is a rich person who represents rich people's interests, and it's not really a secret that he's the one being nominated.
There's room in there if you want to go in.
There's room. Tell them to push it. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Can you speak a little louder? Oh, inside the offices, you can be as loud as you want. You can mic check, too.
Okay. Mic check.
Mic check.
My name is Emily.
My name is Emily.
When I was 15 years old,
I
went to summer debate camp. One day, I forgot my notes. In my dorm room. Over my lunch break. I went back to the dorm. To get them. When I was walking back to the dorm. Unknown to me. Someone noticed me. Walking alone. I was on the second floor. Of the stairwell. When I heard a door. Slam behind me. The man who followed me. Sexually assaulted me. I went to the police. Almost immediately. About an hour. After the attack. I was young. I was naive. I expected the police. To believe me. They did not believe me. There was a camera. Over the door. Of the dorm. They refused. To review the footage. They told me. The camera was broken. We made an arrest. Of the person I said. Had assaulted me. But they told me. That it wasn't a big deal. And they just let him go. Into the custody. Of his parents. I was broken inside. I didn't know what to do. So I didn't do anything. And about 2 years later. The man who assaulted me. Raped somebody else. This should never happen. Even if the rapist was young. He should not be let go. go.
He should not be let go.
Without any punishment at all.
Without any punishment at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mic check.
Mic check.
My name is Tay.
My name is Tay.
When I was 19 years old,
I
was a sophomore in college.
I
was very drunk. And my boyfriend at the time, who was also very drunk, had sex with me without a condom, without my consent. I didn't realize at the time that was rape. It took me over a decade. To realize that was rape. And that's because it happened to me for the first time. When I was 3. This is the culture. We are living in. We have to believe survivors. We cannot let another rapist on the Supreme Court. Thank you.
Mic check. My name is Fran. I have not been sexually assaulted. I am a retired psychiatric nurse. I have worked and seen these women who have been assaulted and abused. I have seen them in hospitals. I have seen them in eating disorder treatment centers. These predators have stolen their souls. And they have usurped their powers. I have seen these women dissociate. I have seen doctors not take them seriously. Real. This is absolutely real. These women must be heard. And I am here. In solidarity. To stand with these women. And to stand with all of the patients that I have been with over the years. No more silence. No predators on the Supreme Court. No more. Never again. Amen. Woo. Thank you.
We believe you.
Mic check. When I was 15 years old, my mother and my grandmother went yard selling, and I decided to stay back and sleep in. I was 15, Saturday morning. I woke up to my grandfather, who was laying on top of me, and I guess at the time I didn't know what was going on, but he was grinding himself on me. So, I couldn't really say anything except, "What are you doing?" He said, and I'll never forget these words. He said, "Don't worry, you'll learn to like it." So I was the oldest granddaughter, and my name was Mary Jane, and I was 15, so there wasn't a whole lot of granddaughters behind me. They were younger, of course. So I told, because I was going to stop it. And I told, and they said, "Why didn't you report?" I did, and nothing was done. So, unfortunately, we had many girls in my family that came after me that were born. And nothing was done. So when I was told that I was a big mouth and that I was a troublemaker. And I just want all my family to know that's watching that this big mouth and this troublemaker is going to make good trouble, and we're going to stop this for one. We need to stop. We need to stop. We need to believe our daughters. We need to believe our sons. Believe the children. You can't be a victim. I'm sorry, but you can't be causing trouble for people if your daughter comes to you at 7, if she comes to you at 8, if he comes to you at 5, it doesn't matter. They don't know what is happening to them. All they want you to do is believe them. It's that simple. And then take that step to do something. Because unfortunately, my deal is, being the oldest granddaughter and 52 years old, I gotta watch all my first cousins be molested, and nothing was ever done. And now we're a family of addicts. I'm a recovering addict. I would do anything that would take my pain away. And I have cousins, unfortunately, that are still there. And I want them to know that I'm going to do everything I can to stop it. Because we have to stop being silent. We have to stop these predators even when they're family. Because it's not fair to push stuff under the rug. It's not fair for you to say, we don't talk about stuff like that in this family. It's okay your grandpa was drunk. No, it's not good. Because at 52 years old, I still live with it. And so, as I've said before, I'm taking my power back. I'm reaching for my soul again. My grandfather, I have made a forgiveness because he was sick and he was an alcoholic. Not an excuse. It was his way he was brought up and how he lived. But he is now gone. So I will help my cousins recover from this in any way they will. So if any of you are watching, reach out to me. Let's put an end to this. Thank you so much. Please vote no. We don't want this man to be in the Supreme Court. Thank you for hearing my story. Thank you. Thank you.
They were hovering around here while people were talking, and they seemed to be sort of smirking and on their phones, and then they just went back into their office and closed the door. And the gentleman who said he was going to find out just sort of snuck in and grabbed something and left. So I feel like...
Well, we got cameras.
Open the door,
hear the stories. Open the door, hear the stories.
Open the door, hear the stories. Open the door, hear the stories. Open the door and hear the stories. Open the door, 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 hear the stories.
We just last said our IG story office. The staffers are not listening to these stories. But the women are still telling them, which is incredibly powerful. I think the question to believe women is important. It obviously goes without saying that people wouldn't come forward with these lies in the way they are for no reason, unless this weren't a structural political problem that we as women have been facing for centuries. But perhaps more disturbing is the way that these people have allowed these stories to be dissected at the re-traumatization and the reshaming of women who already suffered at this systemic violent trend in our country. Heidi, would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, totally. But again, let's look at the big picture. What we're dealing with right here is like the last gasp of power trying to hold on. And so even when we went in that first day for the Kavanaugh hearings and saw and got arrested and saw the first arrest, you could see that this was just a small minority of people who also happen to be older white gentlemen who have an utter desire to keep and hold their power. And there's so much that's changing. You know, I read something that was really interesting to me. I think it was in the New York Times, where it said, like, we are not the resistance. They are the resistance. They are resisting the America that's unfolding. And this is what I know for sure, that women are enraged and they're fired up unlike anything else. And so if the power tries to coalesce, if these senators try to solidify this final nomination, the wrath of the American women and the survivors and our transgender friends, they are going to unleash an unbelievable transformation in our country. And it's already happening. We see it now. So either way, Kavanaugh gets confirmed, which we want to fight like hell to make sure it doesn't, or he does, it's never going to be the same. So we know that to be true.
Yeah, and just thank you for bringing that up, Heidi. A final thing that's really important, if Kavanaugh is confirmed, this isn't the end of this conversation. There are things we can do. There is judicial impeachment, there are legislative actions to be taken, but more importantly, culturally, we have a culture which has subsisted on the violence and subjugation of women, poor people, people of color, anyone who didn't occupy a very specific type of niche privilege. And what we are seeing now is that people are sick of it. Women are done allowing sex to be a humiliating, subjugating vector. We are done living in a world which only benefits a very small subset at the expense of everyone else. And this, as Heidi said, is just the beginning. That's all we have for you this morning, but we'll tune in later and we'll be covering the elections.
And Heidi, one last thing. Everybody, you gotta get here tomorrow. You gotta get here tomorrow, and remember what I said. They're going to try to have a full Senate vote by this weekend. So I want you to get that. They're going to have this hearing tomorrow. They're not going to listen to her, likely. They're going to vote in the committee in the morning on Friday, which means the committee will forward it to the full Senate. Mitch McConnell is trying to keep the Senate in session, so they will be able to do a full Senate vote by the weekend. So we need, if you